major breaking news that Dustin Rhodes, a.k.a. Goldust, has been released by WWE. And how do I know that? Well, it's because Dustin Rhodes is taking on Cody Rhodes at Double or Nothing. I believe it's taking place May 25th at the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada, presumably live on pay-per-view. That's right. Brother versus brother. Cody versus Dustin. And it's funny because I didn't even think about that match, right? I was thinking, like, because Cody has been building up to a mystery opponent for a while. And I was thinking, okay, Ty Dillinger makes sense because Ty Dillinger, by the time his no compete expires, it'll be like around that time. And Ty Dillinger and Cody Rhodes were former tag team partners in OVW, which, by the way, the matchup still could happen, just maybe not as soon as we thought. I was trying to think of maybe somebody else, like, could it be Marty Scurll? But Marty Scurll's still under contract. Maybe somebody from New Japan. Who the hell knows? Ryback. I mean, I don't know. I was trying to just think of whoever random that could be available. Maybe Luke Harper, although I think Luke Harper, if he was released tomorrow, would have a 3-month no-compete as well. But Dustin Rhodes is a pleasant surprise, a great surprise. And apparently it's marketed as one last run for Dustin Rhodes, which is freaking awesome. You could see in the YouTube thumbnail that he has a little bit of face paint there. So I think he's going to be rocking some face paint. And that is freaking awesome. Dustin Rhodes, for those that don't know and only know him as Goldust, is a fantastic worker. Maybe the best worker of all the family. Now Dusty Rhodes is phenomenal at psychology. Cody Rhodes is amazing at carrying himself like a star. But Dustin Rhodes, I mean, bell to bell, might be the best worker that the family's ever had. And I'm happy he gets one more shot to be relevant, one more shot to actually have a real role. From what I understand, he was working backstage kind of as a producer and helping out behind the scenes. But he's a guy to me that I have a lot of respect for, because not only is he a great worker, not only is he a guy that's been a great mentor to a lot of young and up-and-coming wrestlers, but he's a guy that's overcome a whole lot of demons in his career to turn a life around, in the last few years. And if you really think about it, I mean, man, like his last run, think about this. He had been released multiple times in WWE, had these drug issues, had these weight issues, came back, around 2013 during that storyline where WWE, the authority figures were taking over and screwing over Cody Rhodes and releasing him, ended up coming back, had a great match with Randy Orton, went on a great run with his brother Cody Rhodes as a tag team. Now, the Stardust stuff was a mixed bag for me. But overall, I mean, a really incredible run for a guy who's in his 40s. And now he goes to All Elite Wrestling, has a chance to probably make some really good money, and has a chance to make history with his beloved younger brother, Cody. I mean, that is a great story if I've ever heard one. A great story of redemption and an amazing career arc. He never got to a world title level, and you know what? That's okay. He was a great Intercontinental champion. He was a great tag team champion. He's a great veteran. And he is a guy that's definitely going to be an asset for All Elite Wrestling. I just wanted to address one thing real quick before we go. Off the top of my head, I don't remember the reporter's name, but there was a gentleman who actually is from my neck of the woods in Morganville, New Jersey, who is a reporter for TheWrap that has been reporting that, according to his Turner source, that AEW may be a time buy on TNT. Now, some networks would rather call that a partnership. What that is compared to a regular TV deal is that if that were to be true, AEW would be paying for a time slot on TNT or TBS or True TV or wherever the hell Turner would want to put them on, as opposed to AEW getting guaranteed money. And how that would work would be there's probably some type of ad revenue split. And it would be kind of like, I don't want to say a bar deal, but one of those things where AEW would pay for TV time and then they would get ad revenue. Now, here's the thing. Voices of Wrestling claims, and they're a very credible source, big fan of theirs, claim that that is not true, and AEW is in line for a TV deal of some sort for guaranteed money. Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer also says that AEW is in line for guaranteed money. And what I understand based on Dave's reporting, TNT or Turner is only one of two parties that are bidding for AEW. Now, I think a dark horse is probably the DAZN app, because DAZN needs more content than just the occasionally big boxing fight, although I think DAZN's a pretty good deal if you're a boxing fan. They do need some weekly content, and perhaps AEW could provide that. But we'll see what happens. I mean, look, Front Row Brian also reported on Twitter at Fight Oracle that TNT and Turner in general is going to unveil AEW during their upfronts in May, which is upfronts are essentially kind of like the E3 for TV networks, just unveil their upcoming fall programming and future programming and kind of just say, hey, look at our shiny new toys. So I don't know what's going to happen, and I don't think we necessarily need to wait for the upfronts or expect AEW to be featured in the upfronts to know what's going on. But yeah, we will see what happens. Look, it's conceivable AEW could get money because it's the live sports thing, and you know it's one of those things where the cons are involved. I mean, look, the cons already own a Premier League team, they own an NFL team. They got to have some connections, right? At the same time, take away the wrestling bubble, and you might think, well, wait a minute. AEW to people that aren't wrestling fans or networks that maybe are familiar with wrestling, but only WWE might look at it and say, okay, this might be cool. They got Chris Jericho. They've got some entities. They've sold out a couple shows with no TV, but guess what? They're still not a proven commodity. So honestly, I see both sides as far as the reports go. I don't necessarily think anyone that's reporting whatever has ill intentions. I just think it's just a matter of somebody might be getting some bad intel. It might be TheWrap. It might be Dave. We'll see what happens, but I'll say this. AEW definitely has people talking. They're definitely doing great as far as ticket sales and merchandise, and I wish them the very best because the more competition, the better it is for the wrestlers, and the better it is for us fans. But I want to hear from you guys. What do you think about Cody versus Dustin? Let me know. Leave a comment below. If you're a boxing fan, by the way, stay tuned for my live Crawford versus Conn recap after that main event. And until next time, everybody, please feel free to subscribe and enable notifications for live updates like this. And as always,